Hello, my lovelies. Hello, my singles. How are you? I hope you're well. Hey, thanks for clicking here. I appreciate you. I've been waiting on you. Let's get this done. This is a collective reading. Let's find out what's going on in the collective for singles. So, no matter what your age group is, see what sort of information comes out for you here, singles. Reminder, it's a general reading, right? So it's not going to resonate for everyone. Maybe if it doesn't this time, maybe next time. It also isn't a reading that may resonate now, but maybe later. All right. We've got the Lovers. We've got Temperance and the Page of Wands. Seven of Pentacles, Seven of Cups. Not Seven of Cups. Yeah, Seven of Cups and the King of Pentacles. Got the Ace of Swords in the reverse. The Queen of Swords is here, and we do have the Hierophant energy. Bottom of the deck is the Five of Swords. The first thing I'm picking out here is there's a lot of angst and confusion. So it does feel like somebody here is very confused about where we're at in the situation. So I'm going to say that there is somebody here who I feel is fighting feelings or fighting the mind. You're fighting your way into something. I'm going to say that it does feel like that if you are single, something is coming up for you. But it does feel like with the Three of Swords and the Five of Swords in the future, that feels like overthinking. You're going to be overthinking it. This sounds really like somebody who's been hurt before. And I'm going to say that you are in this energy of checking yourself. I'm going to say the King of Pentacles here. King of Pentacles tells me that you could be a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, but it gives me more the feeling of I need to see it coming. Like I'm looking at this King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles, a solid, grounded, good decision maker, somebody who's going to move slow, but look in the distance. In the distance, there is an obstacle. So I feel like it feels as though it might be the mind that is the obstacle, but also I feel like you're in this energy of I have to see them coming. And what I mean by that is the Seven of Cups is here, and it feels as though you get overtaken by your emotional energy, where it's like all of a sudden logic is thrown out the window, even though there's a iceberg straight ahead. It's not an iceberg, but so I heard in my head. So even though there is some sort of an obstacle in the future here, I feel like somebody here gets overwhelmed with their emotions. So overwhelmed with your emotions. Also, I think you're a person who maybe falls in love with people who you see the potential in. And maybe at first they seem like one person, and later on they switch it up, because this is also illusion. So it feels like you're confused. When I meet somebody new and I'm attracted, right, which we always should be at some point, but attraction is different for everyone, understand. Some people are attracted to sturdy, stable, slow-moving people. Other people are attracted to fire, right? They want to be physically attracted. They want to be able to see the package, and they get attracted to the package on the outside. I feel like there is, singles, it feels like there is somebody here that might be showing up. It could be a Sagittarius or a Gemini. It doesn't have to be. But I am sort of being drawn to Temperance and the Lovers. I feel like the next time is different. It feels as though that you will meet somebody that I feel makes you go from the high highs and the low lows to a place of contentment. I feel like there also is a spark. I don't feel like it's a full-on love story. That's the thing. It feels like there is a spark. It feels like this is someone who is curious about you, but it also feels like they make you feel like a kid again, I would say. It's like they're fun and playful on the outside, but very serious and grounded on the inside. And to me, that makes me feel like somebody here might be a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn sun, and they might be a Leo, a Sagittarius, or an Aries rising, possibly. Moon energy feels like it could be some sort of air. There's a bit of a seriousness here that I'm feeling, but also somebody who's this person is a good decision maker, but it feels like somebody here needs more information. I need the truth. I'm looking for someone who will hit me with the truth, whether I like it or not. I feel like somebody here is not dating to date. I feel like you're not into the games. You're not into all of the stuff that goes on. I think that what you're into is finding someone who's into commitment. So I feel although you might be looking for a mate in an unconventional way, it feels like what you're really looking for is stability. You're looking for someone who's willing to commit, even if it's in a long amount of time. To me, pentacles are years, and there's 1 year with the king, 1 pentacle with the king. Somebody who is a leader, somebody who can steer you around the obstacles of life. And that goes either way, feminine or masculine. But I also feel like it's somebody who has to have the duality of giving you the feeling of contentment and healing, but also the feeling of, I choose you. So I'm going to say that there's somebody here who I think that you're looking for a duality. Pardon me. The Lovers is here. You're looking for duality. Somebody who's really sort of serious, knows where they're headed, can see the obstacles in the distance and knows how to maneuver tough things that won't move, but also somebody who is, a little bit unpredictable. Somebody who's a little bit playful, and maybe unpredictable in a good way. Like somebody who would call you and say, hey, I'm going to be at your place in 30 minutes. Can you just wear something nice? I'm going to take you somewhere. And not really tell you where. Like that kind of playful. So I feel like in the past, I feel like you were in relationships that were high highs and low lows. But I'm also going to say that I feel like the relationships of the past were born upon passion. And that means we didn't really get anywhere past or deeper than looking at each other. We liked the way each other looked, and so we thought, okay, well, this is a good one, and we dove right in. The Page of Wands is someone who takes risks, right? Someone who takes risks, small risks, because we're talking about the Page of Wands, not the King of Wands. But also, I feel someone here is into dating an age difference, I will say. It feels like, somebody here, we've got older and younger. So I'll say some of you who are younger like to date older, and some of you who are older like to date younger. I think you want someone complementary to your energy. I've got the Queen of Swords and the King of Pentacles. So that's masculine leaning and feminine leaning energy. I feel like there's somebody here who is very loyal. You could be somebody who is in your in your earth energy for that. Somebody who's very loyal, who's looking to move slow, who is not looking to date here, there, and everywhere. Somebody who is looking for commitment. And I know you just don't jump from meeting someone to a commitment. But I think what I mean by commitment is somebody who feels when they meet you and they meet the right person after the second or third date, that they're willing to clean out their DMs. They're just sort of focused on you. Just one-on-one, being focused. Seven of Pentacles is here. I feel like somebody here has been waiting a really long time. With the Queen of Swords here and the Ace of Swords in the reverse, it feels like somebody here gets to the talking stage a lot, gets into the talking stage. Maybe we stay connected via text all the time. Good morning text, good evening texts, all of that stuff. And then it just goes silent because the Ace of Swords is in the reverse, and that's confusing. So I think you're looking for someone who is stable. And I mean like stable in their energy. Someone who knows what they want. The King of Pentacles knows what they want. Someone who has a little bit of whimsy, I will say. Someone who's a little bit fun and creative, and someone who likes to take, short risks, maybe short jaunts to the country. I'm just going to say I got a lumberjack here. But it feels like somebody here's been waiting a long time for that. And I think it's because you're very particular, and that's what you should be. You should be very particular. But the Queen of Swords is here. I think what matters to you most is that this person will give you stability. And I don't just mean money, because the King of Pentacles isn't always just about finances. It's somebody who is loyal, that's good with their time, energy, effort, and money. Somebody who is responsible. The King has wisdom, someone who has grown and has a little bit of wisdom through life. So they know a few things. They know how to negotiate a mortgage. They know how to negotiate the best price on a car. You want somebody excuse me, who is probably quite responsible financially. The King of Pentacles usually is. That person has built their own kingdom based on their ability to be frugal. And not that they're not living without the beautiful things, because, well, Taurus loves to live with the beautiful things. But this isn't somebody who's going to have a 5,000 square foot home. They might have a really beautiful 1,000 square foot home or 1,500 square foot home. This isn't somebody who's going to just spend money for the sake of spending money. And when they make a decision, they stay with it. So I feel like what you're looking for is somebody who's going to be very loyal. The Queen of Swords is here, and I think that you want someone who ultimately is going to be honest and truthful with you, regardless of the situation. Which means I don't think you want them to be rude and mean, because that's not who the Queen of Swords is. The Queen of Swords is diplomatic. Queen of Swords is somebody who's always going to give you the truth. So you want someone who's honest, will tell you when they feel like something is out of line or something feels out of balance in the relationship, without going silent and ghosting. This is the ghosting energy for me. And it feels like you have not had that in a really long time. So you feel like a person who overthinks it and automatically thinks, look, I don't know, what am I getting into? Do we have fundamental differences? Do we, sometimes people have different love languages. Sometimes people also have different ways of, different moral values, that we were all raised differently. So I feel like the Three of Swords and the Five of Swords tells me I don't want to be disappointed. I don't want to get into something just to have it break up. But that's why it's good to, not let the fire get involved at the very beginning, because then you have a different kind of attachment. I'm going to clarify a little bit here. I feel like somebody is going to meet someone through eye contact. So the person that is yours will be someone who gives you complete eye contact. It'll be as though you're the only one in the room. Even though you might be in a very busy social space, this person is going to look at you like you're the only one in the room. I feel like this person is very strategic, and if you catch their eye, it's because they are very intentional with how they spend their time, effort, energy, and money. This person is someone who is not going to put the energy in if it's not for them. But they're not going to ghost you because they're responsible. This is somebody who's responsible and grounded. Let's talk about the Lovers. Tell me more about the Lovers, please. We've got the Page of Cups. Okay, so this is a new connection, friends. This is not someone who's recycled. Although it's good to recycle. I would say this is not a recycled love. This is something that's brand new, and I'm going to say that it feels like an adventure. So I feel as though it might be a little bit scary, terrifying, and appealing all at the same time. It does feel like there's an emotional connection immediately. Like, don't I know you from somewhere? I feel like I've known you forever. I feel like somebody here is someone who moves very strategically. You could be a Pisces. Maybe you move emotionally strategically. But I don't think you're I don't feel like you're in a rush to get into anything. I feel like if you are single and you are here right now, it's not because you're jumping from relationship to relationship. I feel like you're just waiting for the right opportunity. Somebody here is really paying attention to their intuition before they take a leap of faith. And before you take the leap of faith, I think you want that person to be able to make eye contact all the time. I think you want that person to have some sort of a fantasy, whimsical air about them. Maybe they're creative. Maybe they are someone who dresses whimsically. It feels like you want someone who's like outside the box or not ordinary. And that's not to say that people are ordinary, but I think that this person has an eclectic style. They have their own style. Not like anyone you've met before. So it does seem like a new connection. As I said, the Page of Cups tells me that this shows up quite by surprise, I will say. When you go wherever it is that you're going, I feel you don't realize that you're actually taking a leap of faith. So maybe the place that you meet them, you take a leap of faith going there. So it could be that somebody at the last second says, look, my friend said they're not coming to the wedding with me. Could you be my +1? It feels almost like it's a bit of an inconvenience, collective, that this thing that you're going to have to take a leap of faith. You don't really get a chance to really dig into the details of it, where it's at, who's it's for. You don't know who the people are that you're going to be seeing here. It does feel like it's there's a bit of illusion, or there's a bit of a mystery around it. And I feel like you do take the leap of faith, and that leads you to this place where you do meet this person quite by what you might call accident, right? Or serendipity, a happy accident. Tell me about the King of Pentacles. You could meet someone on the beach. Yeah, there's water here. There's water here and shells. You could meet someone, maybe it's a beach wedding or a beach party. Maybe somebody's having a pool party. We've got a lot of water over here, a lot of jumping, people jumping off edges here, so it could be something like that. The King of Pentacles is quite strategic. So I don't know if you are the King of Pentacles or the person you're about to meet is the King of Pentacles. You can use your own intuition, put on your little tinfoil hat so you know what's going on here. The Two of Wands tells me that the King of Pentacles is very planned. That this person is somebody who's strategically looking for a mate, but they're stuck. It feels like this person is stuck. I haven't really met the person that I want. I dream about the person that I want. Maybe daydream. I'm not talking about really sleeping slumber because that's not this energy of the King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles is being very practical and knows what they want, knows what they're looking for. There is a plan. And I feel like the King of Pentacles is willing to pursue if it should work out for them. I'm going to say that it's interesting that the Two of Wands, the person on the Two of Wands is sitting on a tree trunk. And then we've got the King of Pentacles who's very grounded. So it looks like it could possibly be an earth energy with fire. That's Aries energy. Oh, we have the Tower. So if you are the King of Pentacles, I would say that if you are the Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, I would say that something here does not go to plan because the Tower gets involved. It feels like something shows up that is not on the plan. That wasn't on my bingo card. It feels like it wasn't part of the plan. The Emperor is here. I'm going to say that the person that you meet sort of pulls you out of your character. I think that somebody here, and remember, I'm reading for many people, so keep up because I am picking up many energies here. That's what a 9-card draw does for me. The Emperor here tells me that this person is very serious. But when they say you, it's almost like they break this seriousness, I would say. And all of a sudden, all they see in front of them is something that they want to pursue. It's like the plan is out the window. I'm going to stay practical, but the plan is out the window because the Tower shows up and I didn't expect to meet you here. We have the Tower here and we have the Page of Cups over here. I didn't expect to meet someone I would be interested in. The Emperor usually is quite serious because the Emperor carries a lot. Could be a lot of financial things that they carry. That could be running the empire financially. This could be somebody who is well off, but the Emperor is somebody who carries a lot, who has big shoulders, carries a lot. This Emperor is Aries energy, but is also somebody who might be like higher up in the echelons of corporate world, like a president, vice president, somebody who has a lot of things that they carry. So somebody who is constantly maybe traveling for work or needed places. Yeah. Let's look at the Queen of Swords. Tell me about the Queen of Swords. We've got the Devil. We've got the Nine of Pentacles. And we've got the Six of Swords. So the way you might know this person when you meet them is because they might say, yeah, I've been attached for a while. The Devil is here, but the Nine of Pentacles is here too. And with the Queen of Swords liberating themselves, cutting themselves away from things that are stealing from their balance, I want to say that this person could be possibly separated, not yet divorced. Somebody who has already moved away from their situation. It might have been a chaotic situation. I feel like somebody goes from being attached to being single or being autonomous, doing their own thing, building their own thing. Looks like somebody here is making their own money, very confident, very strong. I could be talking about a man or a woman, feminine or masculine leaning energy. The Six of Swords just tells me that this person seems highly intellectual. They also seem like someone who has a very calm demeanor, I will say. So that sort of lends its energy to maybe a little bit of Libra energy. Somebody who's highly intelligent, possibly a bit of an overthinker, but also I'm going to say that this person, I feel, is in the process of cutting themselves away from the past. So it does feel like this person is somebody who, yeah, I think that they're cutting themselves away possibly in the mind. Maybe they're still there in the mind, you know what I mean? But it does feel like they do have attachments. And when I say attachments, I feel it could be like children. It could be, I'm still paying on this. I'm still paying on that. I'm still in the midst of splitting my assets with this person. So it feels like they aren't quite exactly single. It doesn't feel like they're exactly attached, but it doesn't feel like they're exactly single either. The Seven of Cups is staring at me in a 9-card draw. The center card is, the reason why all the other cards are here. Because it feels like this is going to be confusing, overwhelming, possibly. It feels like you have a lot of opportunities, or you see a lot of emotional opportunities around you when you meet this person. But it also feels like, is this an illusion? It feels like a question mark a little bit. We've got the 8 of Wands. We've got the 10 of Swords. All right, and of course I'm a clairaudient as well, so I heard, slow down, you move too fast. So I think that's a warning here. Make sure that they don't move too fast. The 10 of Swords tells me that is a red flag. If somebody's trying to move too fast, then that's your red flag. The 2 of Swords is here. Don't make quick decisions. I would say make sure that you feel it out first and take off the blindfold, man. Stop ignoring red flags. The 10 of Swords to me is, and the 8 of Wands, that is a red flag. That tells me if it goes as quick as it starts and as fast as it moves, you end up getting hurt. You end up getting betrayed. So I'm going to say that 7 of Cups is the overwhelming emotional, but I don't know what to do right now. This person seems like a good candidate, but I don't really know if they are. I would say if they move really quickly, I feel like that is a red flag. Now, however, it feels like also, I'm going to say, with the 8 of Wands and the 10 of Swords, if somebody is very interested in you and you give them your number and all of a sudden they don't text back, it's just silence, I'm going to say release them. You don't need to be waiting around forever. Just release them. You haven't really put your whole self into it. This is someone that you've just met. I would say stop hanging around and waiting for somebody to take their shot at you. Tell me what this Ace of Swords in the reverse. Judgment card is in the reverse. 5 of Wands is here, and so is the Page of Swords. Now, Judgment for me in the reverse tells me that somebody might misjudge the situation, and it might be because you are still unhealed from the previous shit show. That's what Charlie said. Yeah, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the way Charlie said it in my head. But Charlie's my guide, by the way, if you've never been here before. But the Judgment card being in the reverse tells me that somebody here misjudged a situation and might have indecision. So they might begin to do a little bit of work, looking you up on the internet. Maybe this is what I'm telling you. Maybe you should be investigating, looking at all the socials, Googling their name, try and get their email address. I mean, look, we got to stay safe. I'm just saying. And you will see who they are based on what you come up with. I feel like the next one you meet is the one who is the committer. But I do believe that it might be frustrating for some of you who are in fire energy for sure, because this person is going to move the slowest you ever saw. And sometimes people get frustrated and just let that person go. So how do I do it then, you're saying? I say, do you have your intuition in place? Do you trust yourself? Use your intuition. That's the only way for you to know. I can't tell you that. Someone else can't tell you that. You just have to feel it out. So I feel like although this person looks like they are the good package here, they're the person who is very engaged in their work, somebody who might be quite important, a person of influence. It feels like this person is somebody who is very well dressed, I would say. Someone who presents very well, very together. I'm going to say what you don't see from them is they have this little whimsical, exciting kind of playful side. And this probably is a person who is also looking for a commitment. But I think there's one thing only that you should really look for, and that is, does this person do the cha-cha? And I don't mean can they dance. I mean, are they giving you high highs and low lows? Are they all or nothing? Do they just constantly pelt you with communication and then you don't hear from them for 4 days without them saying, hey, I'm going to be off grid for 4 days. I got to travel for work. Somebody who communicates, right? Because the Queen of Swords is here. This person, I feel, if they are the one, they will be a good communicator. They'll be very honest. They are someone who probably moves around a lot and not someone who is going to be available all the time. So if you're a back pocket kind of dater, if you're a person who has to be with that person 24/7, hearing from them all the time, that's not the Emperor for you. Nope. This is the person who needs their space. They need their time. They need time to work on the empire. They've got a lot of things on their plate. And so I feel like this person is very planned with their time, that if you win the heart of the Emperor, then you are the person they will make time for. It's like that with anybody. They will make time for you. So I think that the next one is probably the one that is the one, because the Hierophant is here. This is the one who's ready to build structures, good at maneuvering, good with money, very practical, very down to earth. This is the one that's worth waiting for. The Emperor is here. This is somebody who is a person of influence, somebody who's very planned. But I also feel like you're going to meet this person quite like out of nowhere. I know it sounds cliche, but it feels like with the Tower and the Page of Cups here, I feel like somebody takes you somewhere you've never been before and you kind of go kicking and screaming, collective. It's like, okay, fine, I'll do it because you're my buddy. But look, I don't really want to go. I'd rather be out doing something different. But I think you do it as a favor. And I think that you're listening to the universe if you do go. I'm not saying say yes to everything. I'm saying, listen, it's all about your intuition. Should you take the leap of faith or should you not? And that's totally and completely up to you. Because I think it ends up being with you ending up investing in someone. And I think for a long while, because Pentacles move slow. Like this is a year. Like you could be deciding, okay, I'm going to invest in a year. Because I feel like this person is not dating to date. You're never going to swipe on the Emperor. I'm sorry for those of you who are swiping like crazy. You're never meeting an Emperor by swiping. This person does not have time to be on apps. This person is so engaged and connected to people in a network that they don't really have to be on the apps. This is somebody who doesn't have time to be playing on the apps. So this is somebody who is quite responsible and somebody who has a lot to do. So if you're looking for somebody who needs to be with you 24/7, the Emperor is not for you. If you're looking for someone who's going to give you autonomy, going to trust you to be who you are, and then you can trust them that they're going to show up when they say they're going to show up. Not that they just go off grid and they ghost you, but that they say to you, look, I can't talk to you for 3 days. I'm going to be at work or whatever it is. And if your intuition tells you that they are being honest and truthful with you, then maybe it's time to take the shot. So we've got in the future, we've got the Ace of Pentacles, the King of Swords, and the Four of Wands. I feel like this does go to the next stage from the talking stage. We got the Queen of Swords here and the King of Swords here. This isn't necessarily a romantic connection, but I feel like those of you who are going to take a chance on the one that meets you at eye level first, or the one that you're attracted to physically first, I mean, go for it. It feels like irresponsible energy. But I'm going to say that the one who wants to talk to you face to face by making eye contact, someone who is very connected to their network, their community, to the people around them, runs a business, whatever this person does, they're not as available, but they're probably more sturdy and stable than anyone else you're going to meet. So I feel like this is probably one that is a very solid opportunity. The King of Swords is somebody, look, if you can get along with an Aquarius, a Libra, or a Gemini, I'm going to say those are the highly intelligent ones. All of the signs have intelligence, of course, but the wisdom of the King of Swords is that this person is quite highly respected because of the way they think. And because they're just willing to just say what they got to say instead of worrying about how everyone feels about it around them. They are probably not the person that if you get your feelings hurt easily, that's probably not the one for you. But if you are the Queen of Swords or the King of Swords, your queen is here. And I feel like it's probably the Emperor we're talking about, who also is the King of Swords and the King of Pentacles. I'm going to leave this right here. I will be back to do more, friends. Thank you so much for being here and watching. I appreciate you. Oh, wait. Yes, sorry. Before I go, Charlie says, let's find out what else we need to know about what they look like, who they are, maybe what their signs are. Let's do that before we go. We've got, for some of you, this is an X. I'm just saying. I said here that it's brand new, but maybe this Emperor is somebody who's already transformed. Take it as it is. I don't care if you fight in the comments. about it. It is what it is. Don't take them back if you don't want to. I'm not telling you you have to. We have a Capricorn energy, someone who lives close. So this isn't someone who lives across the world. We've got a fire sign, exciting energy, someone who really takes care of themselves. That would be probably Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy. We have the Emperor number. It says, keep the faith, give up your doubts, and you're on the right path, right direction, stability and perseverance. But that is also 4 is the number of the Emperor. Now is not the time. It says this person might have light eyes, so, or you might be very taken with their eyes. Very interesting, because now we have Taurus energy. They could have light hair for some of you. I feel this person is very clear with what they want from you. This is not a game player. You will know what direction you're going in when you meet this person and if they're for you or not. I don't feel like they're around the corner. I'm going to be honest. I don't think you're meeting them tomorrow. I don't think you're meeting them next week. It says now is not the time. But I do feel that this person is emotionally available and is looking for someone that they don't have to swipe on. All right, now I'm going to go. Take care of yourselves. Thanks for coming here. I'm out. Take care. Bye-bye.